Okay, so this is module 13, Understanding Approaches to Inclusive Learning. So by the end of this session, you'll be able to identify ways in which your learners are diverse, identify the benefits of an inclusive classroom, and use a variety of activities and techniques in your lessons. Okay, so let's begin. So look at these pictures and tell me what it means. Give me some time to look at it first and tell me what you think it means. You can write in the chat, or if you can put your hand up and speak.
It shows that each student has a problem, and the photo shows that each one has a different health problem and the same medicine for them,
Okay, good.
which
Okay,
is maybe reflects what happens in our learning environment.
exactly, Amani. So I'll stop you there because Ahmad has his hand up and I'll let him continue. But thank you for Amani for beginning. Okay, Ahmad, what do you think?
Having looked at this picture here, we could say that this picture speaks of how children could have diverse needs,
Mm,
and uh, and it gives us some hints and clues about uh, the solutions that could be adopted in order to solve these different problems here. So we are talking about students' needs here.
exactly. So does it happen to us sometimes that we are just too busy and we have no time to think about the two or three people in the corner who don't understand what's happening? It's difficult, right? It's difficult to get it right for everybody to be happy and everybody to learn. What do you think? I think that sometimes we think about the ones who do understand and we focus on them. It's easier for us, right? It's human for us to do that. But sometimes, okay, Amani, what do you think? Go ahead.
Uh, as usual, teachers look or focus on the active participants.
Hmm.
But after we have this course, it enlarges our minds, our mindset about the special education needs
Hmm.
and how to give or how to deal with all needs, all interests, all sometimes disabled students in our learning environments. How to approach or set a group of approaches to achieve the main goal, but differentiated class.
Exactly. Exactly. Do you think that when we explain something in a specific way for children who have difficulty understanding, do you think it's just them who benefit from the strategy that we use?
No, indirectly, all the students will benefit from this strategy.
Exactly. So we don't have to think that we're just helping the ones who have difficulty, even the ones who don't normally have difficulty. It'll help them to focus more as well and to keep focused on what they're doing. Okay. Thank
Yes,
you.
more because we have more clarification,
Exactly.
maybe, or more focus on the target language or the task that we give the students. All the students will benefit from that.
Exactly. We shouldn't like overestimate the good ones, that everybody needs to remember things and to revise and to keep working on their fluency of what they understand. Okay, good. So now, um, let's think about considerations. So we've been talking a little bit about considerations. So can you tell me what could be the visible and invisible differences in our classrooms? So we talked a little bit about that some of our children in our classes are different and need different medicine to help them. But I want you to think about what the visible problems are and the invisible ones, the ones that you don't normally see. This is mentioned in the module if you have done it and you know what I'm talking about. But I want you just to go into the breakout rooms quickly and make a list together of the visible and invisible differences, not problems, but maybe differences we can say in our classrooms. So I'm just going to make the breakout rooms for you now. I'll put you into just 3 breakout rooms, okay? And you can quickly make a little list and you can come back and you can tell me what ideas you've thought of. Okay. So go into your breakout rooms now. Don't forget that Sokaina can't speak. She's driving. But the rest of you should be able to speak, I hope. Okay, go. Don't worry, Sokaina, you can stay with me here in this room. And just keep driving. It's okay. You can listen to the conversation if we have anything in this room. Okay, so Ala, Inaz, are you able to speak here for me? Amani, how about you? Can you speak? So we're talking about visible and invisible differences in our classrooms. Ala, Inaz, if you can't speak, if you can't open your microphone because you have a lot of people in your house, for example, could you write something in the chat for us just about visible and invisible differences in your classroom? Okay, Anas, I'd like you to be able to say something because you don't normally speak in these sessions, which is not a good thing at all. If you can't speak, you can at least write something in the chat.
Sorry, it was
Yeah.
mute.
Ah, no, it's okay.
So,
I'm not, no, Sokaina, don't worry about you. I'm worried about the ones who never speak in this session. They're not speaking or writing in the chat, which is very suspicious. Are you still driving, Sokaina?
yeah,
Are you okay to speak? But if not, don't worry.
I stopped my car.
Oh no, you don't have to really. It's just I'm just getting people to just a warmer basically. So if you want, you can talk about it now. So visible differences, what do you think?
I'm not, yeah, today I'm not concentrated
Okay,
very much with
okay,
you.
your mind is foggy, don't
I,
worry.
I'll listen to the recorder and I'll see it.
Okay, no problem, don't worry, don't worry. I'll get
Sorry
people
for
back.
this.
No, 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 it's okay. I wasn't talking to you about speaking. It was the others were very quiet, too quiet.
Uh,
Okay.
Okay,
You can get back into your driving, don't worry.
okay.
Okay, did you have time to make a list for me?
Yes, we have.
Great. Let's see if we have people coming back in now. They're all coming back now. Okay. Right. Maybe we can begin with somebody else because Amani, you're great at contributing. I love listening to your
No,
voice
I
and your
will.
ideas. But I'm going to ask somebody else if that's okay.
No,
Um,
I will ask Mr. Fuad to talk about our
yes, good
SO.
idea. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Amani. Okay, so Fuad, Amani said if you could say what they were talking about or what you were talking about in the group. Hi, Fuad.
Yes, hello.
So tell us
Yes, we
about
talk
the, yeah,
about
yeah,
yes, we talk about visible differences. We said that we have some differences we can easily see in learners. For example, the learner
yes.
maybe have a mental healthy diseases like the diseases
Mm.
communicating background,
Hmm.
this invisible differences,
Okay.
motivation and confidence level for the learners,
Hmm.
home environment and family support,
Yes.
also invisible, previous learning for learners,
Okay.
previous learning experiences.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, this
This
is
is good.
about
These are
the
the,
invisible
thank you. Thank you.
differences.
I'll
Visible,
don't stop. Okay, thank you.
yes.
It's because, okay, we've got invisible differences. You've made a very good list. I'm going to ask Ahmad to talk about the physical ones now. So the ones that we can see, the visible ones. So Ahmad, go ahead. Thank you, Fuad.
Before I talk about the visible aspects that make our students differ from each other, there's something that I really would like you to take into consideration here, which is there are some eminent visible differences that we, as most of the Jordanian teachers, don't usually face every day, like a they like the differences in gender, like for example, or the differences in the age,
Mhm.
especially in the public school. I mean, the government run schools here,
Mm.
because all the students have the same age and all the students have the same gender.
Mm.
But some differences that can be easily seen that can be considered as signs or indicators of something beyond, like for example, clothing style, how could students dress, about their hairstyles or
Mm.
something like that here by just looking something that can be inferred by just looking at the student himself.
Mm.
And we can't infer out of these differences what is the cultural background of the student and what is their religious background and outside school surroundings.
Mm.
Uh, Out of these aspects, we could get acquainted with some aspects that could be vital in order to get acquainted with the personality of the student and how can we deal with the student accordingly here.
Yes, exactly. So sometimes because we look at somebody from their physical aspect, maybe would that create any bias from the students or from the teacher?
When it comes to the teachers who has an objective point of view,
Mm.
that shouldn't or these kind of aspects, especially the visible ones, shouldn't be taken as a way of being biased against one student
Mhm.
over the other one here. These indicators might be helpful in order to be capable of dealing with the students and to have in mind that your students have some differences here.
Exactly. Yeah, just so that we're aware that we have different people in the class and but we want to treat everybody the same, but we are aware of some differences among the children in the class or the teenagers. Okay, good. Alanud?
Yes. Actually, in education, visible and invisible in the classroom are often used, especially in inclusive learning, to explain that learning is more than what we can physically see.
Mhm.
So, visible in the classroom, the teacher can easily see, hear what the teacher can see, hear, or measure inside the classroom. For example, if the students raising their hands and answered questions, speaking, group work, quizzes, their behavior like this.
Mhm.
Invisible in the classroom, that the things which affect the learning deeply but are not immediately visible. For example, understanding or misunderstanding, thinking process and reasoning, confidence, fear, shying from something. I
Mhm.
will give you some examples.
Yeah.
Visible, the student doesn't answer a question, for example,
Mm.
inside the classroom. Invisible, the student, for example, understand but is shy.
Mhm.
You know,
Exactly.
like that.
Mhm.
Yes,
It could be something very obvious, like that they can't
yes,
see. They have some visibility issue. They can't see
yes,
very
yes,
well. They can't hear. And because we see that they have a hearing aid, maybe they are missing a limb, or it could be many things that could be quite
yes,
physical, right? So, yes, it could be some kind of physical disability, which
yes,
limits their movement, or how they can see things or hear things or perceive things in the class. And we have to adapt the physicality of the class to them as well.
yes, exactly.
Okay, so let's look at the list that we have on the slides and see if they're different to what we've been talking about just now. So I'm just going to show it to you now in a second. And I'm just going to get, poor Allah has difficulty getting in. Oh, okay, let's see if she can get in now. Okay, I'm just going to actually not show this to you. And we can look at this slowly. You've just seen it, but you've just disappeared again. Okay, so let's look at it here. And we'll talk about the invisible differences, which you seem to be more interested in, aren't you? So let's look at the invisible ones first. So learning preferences. Did we talk about that? Maybe not, right? Some people have a better visual memory, or they like doing physical things with their bodies, like with TPR. So they have their own learning preferences, right? Then we have religion, which you did mention. Motivation, maybe that didn't really come up, did it? We didn't talk about motivation, but somebody did say that you know, you can see the way they're behaving to how they're learning, right? If they are responsive to the questions or not. Values, okay, also values is a big one. I think values of children over the generations changes, and we have to try to adapt to that and remember them about what remind them of what values are. Okay, but values could be to do with also their background as well, I suppose, right? Needs. Okay. It could be their emotional needs, learning needs. Okay. Health conditions. So things that we can't really see, but it is almost physical. Previous learning background. You did mention that. Support systems. So we're talking about maybe their families at home. What do they have for learning? What can they use to help them progress with the lessons? Special needs, special education's needs, are they on the spectrum? Um, or have dyslexia or visual hearing, as I said before, which is also, it can also be physical if you can see it as well. So sometimes it crosses over between the two. Okay, that's only some. I'm sure the list could be longer. Now, visual differences, which just seems to be a smaller list, right? So race and ethnicity, it could be obvious from what they're wearing, as you mentioned, their skin color, other things, right? Gender, you did mention this, yes. Age, religion, which, as you can see, is a crossover, isn't it? We might not know at the beginning, but we can discover this. Cultural background, which you may or may not be able to see. Again, it can cross over. Personality traits, how they behave, you can notice this very quickly, right? You suddenly begin to define your students in class on the first day, right? Behavioral differences, which is kind of similar to personality traits, isn't it? Physical abilities. Okay. Okay, so I'm not sure if there are things that you mentioned that are not here, but more or less that's what we've got on the slides for today. And there may be more things that you've seen in the module as well. We don't always use exactly what's on the module here on the slides. Okay, so let's go back now to the slides. And any questions about this so far? Would you like to talk about any of these situations that you have discovered in your classrooms this year, where you've had to make special mm, adapt the lessons because of these situations? Would anybody like to talk about that briefly? Amani, go ahead.
Miss Andy, according to our tradition in Jordan, I will talk about something related to families' attitudes. Some of parents hide their some physical problem or something related to their health. Sometimes they hide if their children have autism.
Yes.
They deny. They deny. The teacher can guess from some. When the teacher see the students how he behave or how he act in the classroom, sometimes she can guess, even if she doesn't specialist in autism, but you can guess that he has autism when you tell her parents. Her mother denied, for example, she denied that he has this problem.
Yes, it's difficult that's a very good point that you're mentioning, because it doesn't just happen in Jordan, it happens, I think, probably in every country, because in Spain it's exactly the same.
Yes, but I talk about it because it is our learning environment. We are in Jordan, yes.
Yes, it's the same here. We have so many parents who just don't say. They don't want to
Uh,
tell you.
in Corona period, one of the students in first grade has autism. He annoyed the class, and we can't. Me and the other teachers can't give any classes for them. He just behave like this. Go to the hygiene, put a hygiene, and all the time he is eating. And his backpack, he doesn't put the backpack under the ground. He always put it on his back, and he refuses to deal with us or to listen to us. When we call his mother, she denied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pity, because really it's the parents' responsibility to inform the school and to help the school and to collaborate with the school, so that their child has a better learning experience. Because if we don't have any warning about certain things that they like or dislike because of maybe an autism issue, it can be really complicated in the classroom. And it's really sad when they don't tell us. And it's really is a guessing game for everybody. Most teachers have this guessing game every year with their students, like which one has autism this year, and the parents haven't said anything about it. Do you all agree with me about this? What do you think? I always find I have the same problem. And sometimes there are parents like Amani's parent who denies, which means that maybe this child hasn't been diagnosed and he or she refuses to take the child to a specialist to check because maybe they feel embarrassed about it. You know, it's just sad that the child hasn't been diagnosed and therefore can be treated and considered what you can do with them in the classroom.
Miss Andy, sometimes they even refuses to give him special treatments.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want the child to be different. It's just that sad when the parents are not happy about it, which makes the child even worse because they're always probably in the wrong, and they probably are always, and it's a big problem with also with child abuse, because parents who just don't accept that their child is different and are always angry with their child. So it's quite sad really when they don't want to admit it and don't get special treatment for that child. Okay. So yeah, that's really rough actually, yes. Um Allah has a problem with the sound. So you have a problem with the sound, Allah. I'm sorry about that. But if you can, what you can try to do is just write in the chat here, and I'll keep checking the chat when you want to contribute, okay? Okay, right. I hope that you can hear me though. Can you hear me? Okay, you can hear me, good. Right, let's look at this list. I'm going to give you a checklist of things that you could do or consider when you're in the classroom, and we want to consider everyone for whatever the reason is. So just have a look at this list together, and you can write in the chat the number you think that you don't do or want to know a little bit more about it, okay? So just write in the chat about which ones you think Hello, Amal. Hi, welcome to the session. Just make sure that your microphone is muted now.
Good evening.
Hi, Amal. Nice to see
Hi,
you.
how are you? I'm sorry for being late.
It's okay. Don't worry.
I was driving, I was outside, and
Oh,
I forgot
okay.
my phone at home.
Okay, don't worry. It's
I've
good
just
to,
arrived. I'm
it,
sorry.
it's okay. It's good to see you here anyway. And
Thank you.
we're looking at this list of things to help us in our inclusive classrooms. Which ones do you think you don't use or would like to try or know more about? So just if you want, you can write a number in the chat. It's really easy to accept these strategies and then we forget to use them. Don't you find that? Because you could be in a very stressful environment in the classroom with a lot of students and you forget to think about these strategies. Just have a look at them really carefully and think about them. Okay, so Kaina says the checklist covers many good inclusive teaching practices such as using clear instructions, varied activities, and focusing on learner strengths. One thing that could be added is providing regular feedback and using assistive technology to support different learning needs. Overall, it is a strong and practical checklist for inclusive learning. Thank you.
Yes.
10, okay. Alanud says 10, focus on what learners can rather than can't do. I like that one. It's nice, isn't it? Fuad has chosen 6, avoid excessive writing and copying. Yes. 5 says Alanud. So vary production and assessment methods. Nice, exactly. Because of their learning styles. Sometimes assessment could be counterproductive for them, right? Amani also talks as we put number 5 for the assessment methods. And Alaz puts 10. What can't do. And number 6, I think you said. 6, avoid excessive writing and copying. Yes. Yeah. This is worth thinking about, right? If it's possible. So do you understand what the first one means? It says include overlearning. What does this actually mean? What is overlearning? Okay, so Kaina's got it already. Are you using AI to help you or you got a very fast brain? I'll read it to the group anyway. It says include overlearning. So give students extra practice so they can master skills and feel confident. Yes. Simplify instructions and model activities. Use clear, simple language and show students what to do instead of only telling them. Exactly. It's like that quote from Benjamin Franklin, which I always will forget. It's like, teach me and I will understand. Show me and I will learn. And what's the last one? Who can tell me the quote? Which I always forget. Can anybody tell me the quote? If not, I'll give it to you in a second. I'm going to look for it for you now, and I'll tell you. I think I have it somewhere here. Okay, I'll read it to you. And we did this, I gave this to you in a group WhatsApp before, but if you're not in the group WhatsApp, don't worry. It is tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. It's lovely, isn't it? I'm just going to put it into the chat for you in the Zoom so that you can see it. I just love that quote because it actually is, it's quite meaningful, really, isn't it? There you have it in the chat now. Okay.
Miss Andy,
Yes, go ahead, Amani.
when I was in the pre-service diploma with the Queen Rania Academy, one of the practicum experience, a school, the teacher of special need put a label on the door. Um, it attacks our feelings. The sentence deals me with my abilities. Don't deal me with your ability.
Ah,
Deals me with my ability, not with your ability.
okay, that's interesting. So it's like not comparing yourself to others, but doing what you can the best.
This is the room of a special need student.
That's nice. That's nice. I like that. Okay. So also, who else has got problems with their sound today? Because some of you can hear me, but you can't speak. Is there a bad connection where you live or something like that? Because you're all from different parts of Jordan as well. So I don't know if it's to do with the internet or what it could be to do with. I don't know. That's a pity. But thank you for letting me know, Ala. Okay. Okay, thank you for that, Amani. Very relevant. It's like showing empathy. So that's the idea. You're trying the message is please show empathy. So think about others and not just don't think about teaching something that you know. Think about if they know how to do it. So exactly. Okay, so Allah says not good in the west of Oman. Oh, it's a pity. Okay. Anything else you'd like to say about these ideas, these strategies for teaching? So simplify instructions and model activities. So of course, make your instructions simple, short, and model it. You can get the best students to model it, or you can get yourself to do it. Yesterday, I gave them they had to make a paper presentation, and I prepared my own presentation before and showed them what I wanted them to do, so they could just go and do it. So I think showing an example is useful and not making it really complicated. And I said, look, mine isn't perfect, but do something similar if you can, so that they get an idea of what they have to do. So that's like number 2 and number 3. Vary activities. Of course, you know about this. Is it easy to vary the activities? How can you make the activities varied so they don't get bored or get stuck? How can you vary the activities? Has anybody got any nice ideas? Do you have like little brain breaks where they can do something short for just a few minutes and then come back and continue? What can you do with this? Sometimes you can show them images and you can show them part of an image and ask them, what can you see? Can you guess what's in the picture? And you just see a little spot in the middle of a. I used to do this with magazine pictures before digital times. You had a picture of something from magazine, you put another paper over it, you make a little hole and say, what do you think the picture has? And it's nice. It's just a nice activity, for example, for teaching them about models of deduction. So think about how you can show something really quickly, something maybe an image, or that you stand up if you might, da 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 da. So doing something physical to get them active, because if they can move around a little bit or just stand up and sit down, stand up if you think you might pass the next exam for mathematics. And they have to think about what you just said and then do it. So something short like that to teach some grammar point is really good. It can be for any tense, like if you stand up, if you uh went to um Amman last week. Imagine you're in the country and they can stand up and they have to think about what you said and react. So you're teaching the past simple. So that's a nice way of getting them to literally think on their feet. If they're just doing exercises after exercises in at their desks.
Miss Andy, I have applied a class. It's about differentiation in the classroom. The topic was about simple past. I vary the activities for my students, but we achieve the same goals at the end of the. I divided the students into 7 group. It was fourth graders. Yes, last week. One of the a group will classify verbs into verb 1 and verb 2. Another group will make sentences using the past verb given on the card. The third group have a digital game. I gave them my tablet and they play a game. It's about something related to past simple. The stronger or fast finishers group, I give them a picture and to imagine a story about the picture and write a short paragraph maybe, or some little action related to the picture I give for them.
That's excellent,
And
Amani. That's excellent.
but
Yes.
it needs time and effort, but at the end you
Yeah.
will be happy of this, your learner's achievement.
So you have like different workstations, and in these workstations you put them according to their level. If I'm correct, would you mix them sometimes if it's like for a project work?
Sometimes according to their abilities, sometimes according to their interests. يعني some groups like drawing.
Okay.
I divide them in the same group.
So it could be to do with their skills, their
I
interests,
make
their level. Okay.
I make a survey or a questionnaire at the beginning of each semester.
Okay,
And
nice.
I divide my students into homogeneous and non-homogeneous group from the first of the semester.
That's really good. That's a really good idea. Thank you. Okay. Any more questions or ideas from anybody? It's always good to share. No? Okay, so let's continue. So let's think about benefits. So understanding approaches to inclusive learning benefits. So what are the benefits of an inclusive classroom? So just look at these ideas and see what you would like to comment on that you think is particularly interesting for you. I'll give you some time to read them, and then you can tell me which ones you are interested in most and why. Okay, any ideas? We live in such a cruel and diverse world at the moment, so some of these ideas are extremely relevant to us, aren't they? I like the second one. So if you're helping somebody who has difficulties to improve and to feel part of the group and the system, it will improve their self-esteem and help them to be better at interacting with others and obeying rules. Do you agree? Has anybody had any experiences with this where they've seen some benefits from an inclusive classroom, where they've seen some improvements in classroom management and behavior? It's a complex issue and takes time and patience to get through it, but what do you think? This is a list. As you can look at the bottom of the page, it says it's based on a study. It's not just somebody inventing ideas for why we should have inclusive classrooms. It's based on an actual investigation, a study on evidence of inclusive education. Okay, let's have a look and see what it says in the chat. Okay, Alas is the last one. Warm and caring friendships, nice. So I feel friendship important these days and attract students. Yeah, if we can develop more empathy and understanding, we're creating a better world. I mean, the kids that we have in our classrooms are the future, and we have to make them understand that they have to respect each other. And if they feel that they're different, to be happy about their differences as well. Okay, Alanud says number one, this benefit is important because inclusive learning encourages all students to take part in classroom activities, not only the confident ones. Exactly. Alas says increased confidence. Yeah, it's a big one. Increasing your confidence is a big one, isn't it? Okay, any more comments here on that? No? Okay, let's move on. So I want you to look at this. It says understanding approaches to inclusive learning, classroom situations. So look at these classroom situations. Are they inclusive? Why? Why not? If they aren't, how can you make them more inclusive? Let's look at the first one. Is it inclusive? The teacher hands out a worksheet after giving instructions. Is that correct? Who thinks they can answer that question?
First one is not inclusive because maybe some students doesn't get the instruction well.
Yeah, I mean, if they just give instructions once, it might not be enough. And think about what kind of questions can you ask before you give out the worksheets?
Yes or no questions?
Yes or no questions, exactly. So concept or instructions checking questions. Instructions checking questions, definitely.
Understanding, yes.
So like, do you have to do this on your own or in pairs? And you can give them a choice and they must think about it so that they know. Do you have to work, I don't know. Is it a multiple choice or, just making sure that they understand what they have to do? Do we choose one option or two in the question? So that they know exactly what they have to do. Maybe not too many questions. You don't want to bore them, but just make sure that it's really clear what they have to do. Do I want you to do the whole worksheet or just question one? Because then they just don't know. There's always somebody who doesn't know what they have to do, right? Okay, look at the next one.
Inclusive, number two. Gap
Yeah.
fill. It is not مثلا open-ended question or
If
an opinion مثلا, or she
mm,
doesn't ask them about their opinion.
in the first one, in the second one, so they fill in a gap fill activity on their own. We don't have very much information about this because they could fill in on their own. Then what could they do? Okay, sorry.
I will give them feedback after
Yes,
they
I
have
th
finished the activity.
I think that if you look at the third one, the students check their answers to the gap fill in pairs. That's okay. So number 3 is connected to number 2, sorry. Okay, the teacher explains a grammar point using a timeline. So I think 2 and 3 are connected. So that's good. if they're checking with each other in pairs, it takes the pressure off the ones who are slower at doing a gap fill, because gap fill means reading. And if you have a child with dyslexia in the class, it'll take them longer, or some visible disability, it'll take them longer to fill in the space, right? And read the text and understand the text. So if they're working in pairs later, it'll help. They get support from each other. Maybe they're too shy to say the correct answer. Yeah. Okay, look at the fourth one. Do you think this is inclusive, using a grammar point using a timeline? What do you think about that?
Timeline, it is
It's visible.
visual aids. Yes, visual aids. It's considered a visual aid for the student.
Yeah, visual aids tend to be very inclusive because you're not giving them a text to read. They can see it. And maybe it's just easier for them. Visual tends to work, doesn't it? For everybody. Okay, the student looks at some pictures in their book about different types of holiday and discuss which holiday they would like to go on. So, Amani, you said that your last group had like visuals and they could make sentences with visuals. Do you think it's enough just to show pictures for people to be able to talk to each other? For everybody?
No.
The picture thrill their imagination.
It will help them. It will stimulate ideas.
Yeah.
So before they
Imagination.
To
Yes.
ask a question, make debate, make discussion.
Yep.
Right?
Would you get them to brainstorm some vocabulary to help them speak later?
Yes.
Yeah, they need some scaffolding there, don't they? So maybe you'd begin to get them to, you'd elicit some words from them. Give me some objects to do with holidays, or what can you see in the pictures? What can you see? What activities can you do on a holiday? So you'd like brainstorm with them and elicit language that you can put on the board, and that will scaffold a speaking task, right? And discussion later. What do you think?
Andy, I think this module should be the first one in our course.
Yes.
It need a skill. It need a skill from the teacher to have
Yeah.
to understand it well.
Yes. Well, don't forget that.
Maybe we
I, th-
practice this
I think the
situation.
modules are in the correct order, because don't forget at the beginning of the course, you are looking at lesson planning. So how you would plan a structure to your lessons. That's like the very basics. And then you were learning about motivational activities. So that was good, because it's like, what can I do to make my children learn in a happy environment? And you're slowly building towards this, really. So you can think about those happy activities and how can they be inclusive. It's like it's visual and that kind of idea. And at what stage would you have them speaking? So probably at the end on the lesson plan, near the end or halfway through the lesson, after a warmer and eliciting language from them, making it learner centered. All of this language, all of these ideas are from modules from before, so it'll help. Okay. Next one, the students do a role play where one asks directions to places in a city. So how would you build this for an inclusive lesson? It's a role play. So would you give them a mini script to try to follow? And I guess if it's looking for like asking for directions, I did lessons on directions this week with my primaries, and you give them language. You have like the symbols for like left, right, and you have the word beside them. Would you give them some help like that for asking for directions? Like straight on, left, left, turn right, go past. So maybe you would like give them some symbols on the board and get them to fill in for you. They can look at the board as a reference. and then they can play their game with a map or something like that. Could it be confusing? Because do you think some children confuse left and right? Could this be a problem for children with autism? It could be an issue because even for us, we can confuse left and right sometimes, or I mean, whether you have dyslexia or not, or you could have a problem with left and right anyway, right? So you could even put it on their hands like L and R. Okay, so then they're thinking about where to go, and it could help them. Or on the paper, just put L and R, and they can think about what's left and right, just to remind them. And you can say, I always forget myself. If you want, you can put L on one side and R on the other, and they probably will do that, wouldn't you think? Okay, look at the next one. The students write a letter to a pen pal about what they did recently. How can we prepare this? Well, it sounds like it's a little bit like routine. So you could go through some revision on routine. Depending on their level, their age, they probably be familiar with the language for routine. But they would need some kind of structure, like a template of typical language for informal emails and letters, wouldn't they? So I presume you'd build towards that. This would be at the end of the lesson, right? So you need to give them some structure. They could even have like order the sentences in the correct order to create an email. Now I want you with this to make your own one, but put in for your own ideas, and they can choose which ones they would, information that they would remove and put in their own ideas. So it's just giving them some structure and scaffolding. Yes, formal and informal writing, says Allah. Yes. Okay. And she also says about like directions helps students to express and increase. Yeah. So slowly they can build on what they're learning, build slowly. You can make a simple map on the board, or maybe there's a map in the book that they can use and they can tell each other where they have to go. Okay, so Kindness says most of these classroom situations can be inclusive because they use different skills, speaking, writing, visuals, pair work, yes. However, to make them more inclusive, the teacher should give clear instructions, model tasks, allow support, pair groups, and offer alternatives for students who struggle, extra time, visuals, or oral answers. Yes, very good, thank you. Okay, so the students read and answer true, false questions about it. What do you think? Because if it's true, false, it's not like you have to make an open, it's not like an open-ended question. If it's true, false, they have to kind of verify if it's correct or not. So maybe that's easier than having to dig deeper into a text. If it's true, false, they can try to verify together. And as so kind of said, like working in pairs, maybe answering orally, what if they know the answer, not having to write anything down. So varying the skills is also extremely important. Okay, it's time to go. We finished for today. I hope that was useful to you. Just going to stop the recording now.